Let me tell y'all something right now. What happened to Tamar Braxton is not family drama, y'all. It's straight up betrayal, deep betrayal, knife in the back betrayal. And the whole world is finally seeing it, y'all, because this wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a misunderstanding. It wasn't confusion. This was orchestrated effort inside her own family to silence her. Shut her up and punish her for protecting a young girl who was violated. Let's start with Trina, shall we? Trina, where you at, boo-boo? What's up, Pookie? What's up, Bookie? Honey, because baby, Trina is the cornerstone of betrayal. Trina admitted with her own mouth that she gave her brother her attorney's information so he could file a cease and desist against their own sister, honey. And she sat at that table with guilt on her face because she knew exactly what she did. That was not small. That was not harmless. That was not innocent. That was involvement. That was participation. That was opening the door so that man could legally attack Tamar. Trina should have told him, no, find your own lawyer. No, I'm not helping you do that to my sister. No, I wouldn't want to be a part of this mess, but she didn't, y'all. She handed over that information. She enabled the process. She sat quiet while Tamar panicked and just was spiraling out of control. She sat there with that heavy, guilty face because she knew she was a part of the setup. And then, honey, we got to get to TONI Braxton. Hello. Let's get to TONI. Let's get to TONI because the address didn't come out of thin air. Somebody gave it to that man. And the only person who reacted funny when asked, the only person who couldn't give a straight answer, yes or no, the only person who tried to hide behind didn't know you were being served was TONI. That right there told us everything. That was a soft confession. She didn't deny it. She just tried to soften it. That's how you talk when you done messed the F up, right? But you don't want the backlash. So now we have to do a full chain of betrayal, right? Trina gave the lawyer the information. TONI gave the address, and the brother filed the cease and desist, y'all. Boom. Boom. A whole family triangle of snakes. A whole chain of reaction against one woman who was trying to protect a child and the brother. Oh, baby. He ain't innocent either, honey. He is the one who actually filed the paperwork. He took the information from Trina, took the address from TONI, and he pushed that thing forward like Tamar was his enemy, like Tamar wasn't blood, like Tamar deserved to be punished. That cease and desist didn't come out of nowhere, y'all. It came from her own family. They orchestrated it. They activated it. They did it. They did that shit. They did it. And all of this, all of it, honey, because Tamar interviewed Ashley, because Tamar gave a young girl her voice, because Tamar exposed what a grown man did to a minor, because Tamar finally said, this generational ends with me. Instead of standing behind her, they stood against her and tried to silence her legally, emotionally, and spiritually. This ain't drama. This is betrayal on a spiritual level. This is family choosing secrets over truth. This is family choosing appearances over accountability. This is family choosing predator reputation over child's healing. So let's call it what it is, y'all. Trina was a part of the setup. TONI was a part of the setup. The brother was a part of the setup. And Tamar was the target. And let's pause right there because this is the part that breaks people's spirits the most. Ashley wasn't just any girl, y'all. She wasn't some random child. She was his daughter, his own flesh, his own blood, his responsibility. The little girl he was supposed to protect, yeah, that's her. A father's job is to shield. A father's job is to guide. A father's job is to love without confusion. A father's job is to create safety, not destroy it. But he failed her. He failed her in the worst way. He crossed boundaries no child should ever have to navigate. He created wounds she did not ask for. He broke her innocence, y'all. And instead of stepping up to repair what he damaged, he left her carrying that burden alone. She had to carry that burden alone, y'all. That girl was violated and unsupported, ignored, harmed, and silenced. And when Tamar found out, she did what she should have did. She did what she should have did. She protected her. She listened to her. She stood up with her. She broke that generational silence they created. This man failed his daughter too many times for me. And instead of holding him accountable, the family turned on the only person trying to heal that girl. Ain't that sad, y'all? This is God saying enough of the secrets, because the Braxton skeleton closet, baby, is done bust wide open, honey, okay? And Tamar, honey, Tamar is standing right in the middle of the storm, y'all. I mean, she got just swinging truth like it's a sword. So let's go and get on into it, y'all. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe here at the Messy Sweet Spot. But let me tell y'all, everything started when Tamar Braxton interviewed her niece, Ashley. Ashley finally opened up about what happened to her as a minor. Her auntie, Trina's ex-husband, texting her inappropriately when she was 15 years old, maybe 16. A grown man, y'all, crossing boundaries with a child. And Tamar didn't know any of this until recently, right? She didn't know that the little girl was carrying trauma tied to her family. She didn't know Ashley has been violated, confused, scared, and silenced. And when Tamar heard that, honey, instead of hiding it, y'all, she did what a real woman of God does, okay? She gave that girl a voice. She let that girl speak. And Tamar said, no more secrets, no more shame, no more protecting predators. Not on my watch. But the moment Tamar stepped into her healing era, her truth-telling era, her breaking era, honey, her own sisters turned on her. Yeah, her own sisters turned on her because Trina and TONI didn't want the world knowing what their husbands, their men's, and their decisions, honey, brought into this family. So what did they do, y'all? Instead of thanking Tamar for helping a victim, instead of saying, sis, you did the right thing, instead of holding that man accountable, they allegedly tried to shut her up. They served her with a cease and desist. They weaponized paperwork for telling the truth about a child being violated. Let that sink in. Who does that? Tamar is trying to break generational curses, and her own blood tried to curse her with legal threats. Now, Tamar's question was simple, y'all. It was real simple, right? She said, who gave the lawyers my information? Who gave the lawyers my information? Who gave my address? Who helped this mess happen? Because, baby, she was served. That cease and desist came straight to her damn doorstep, okay? Somebody in the family handed over those details. First, Trina sips and admits she gave the lawyer information. She says she gave him her attorney's contact. Not a big deal, but still involvement. But the address, the location, that part that allowed Tamar to get served, that right there led straight back to TONI, y'all. TONI didn't outright say she didn't give it. She just said she didn't know Tamar was being served, which ain't a denial. I mean, that's a dodge. That is a dodge. That is a soft confession with satin gloves on, right? So now the picture is clear. Tamar is protecting a girl who was violated. Her sisters are protecting their image. And the moment Tamar said, let's tell the truth, they said, let's silence Tamar. They said, let's silence her. That's why the internet is dragging the family. That's why people are switching sides. That's why Tamar has an army behind her right now, because everybody sees the pattern, the gaslighting y'all do, the manipulation y'all do, the secrets y'all do, the deflection y'all do, the performative apologies, the crocodile tears. Baby, the world sees it now, okay? Nobody is blind anymore. And the saddest part, Tamar herself has been touched in that family. She has hinted at it. She has survived things too. She has carried her own weight of silence, and instead of standing behind her while she tries to protect another victim, they punished her. Now, let me really preach for a minute, y'all. Can I do it now? When a family hides abuse, when a family protects predators, when a family shames victims, when a family circles the wagon around the wrong person, God will peel back the curtains and expose the whole house. And that's what's happening here in real time. Tamar is not the problem. Tamar is the assignment. Tamar is the vessel. Tamar is the one God chose to shake that family tree. And until every rotten fruit falls out, and baby, the fruit is falling everywhere, on every platform, in every interview, in every clip. Now, people want to know, why didn't the mom speak? Why didn't the brother step in? Why are the men being protected? Why is the real confrontational missing? Why is the storyline chopped, edited, and sanitized? Because the Braxtons want a check, but they don't want accountability. But here's the twist. The world is no longer buying this PR version. People are siding with Tamar because the truth feels real. Her pain feels real. Her compassion for Ashley feels pure. And her sister's behavior, it feels cold, calculated, self-protective, snake-like. So let me close with this, y'all. Tamar isn't just telling the truth. She is breaking a cycle. She is freeing children who grew up silenced. She is escaping or exposing adults who never faced consequences. She is doing what nobody else in that family has the courage to do, and everybody sees it. Everybody feels it, and everybody is standing with Tamar, because when a woman finally decides, I'm not protecting y'all secrets anymore, The entire bloodline shakes. Welcome to the shaking, honey. Welcome to the revealing, honey. Okay? And welcome to the season where Tamar is not crazy. She is chosen.